Before anyone ever cracked a vault, we had to invent something far more dangerous than crime. A reason to commit one. We didn't create robbery. We built a world that made it possible. Before someone robs a bank, they have to make a decision. A quiet one. A private one. And it doesn't start with a weapon, or a plan, or even the bank. It starts with something far more dangerous. A thought. This is why people rob banks. Not how, but why. Because behind every heist is a human mind. And inside that mind is a reason. Let's begin with a myth. People rob banks because they're desperate. Sometimes, yes. But often, it's far more complex. Because if someone just wants money, there are easier, safer ways to get it. Theft, fraud, online scams, low security targets. But a bank robbery? That's public. That's high risk. That requires planning. It's not a survival crime, it's a symbolic one. People don't rob banks just for the cash. They rob banks to prove something to themselves, to society, to the system. It's not just about what they take, it's about who they become when they take it. For centuries, culture hasn't just punished criminals, it's romanticized them. Robin Hood stole from the rich, gave to the poor. Jesse James, Southern folk hero with a gun. Bonnie and Clyde, lovers on the run, now sit in the legends. Why do we glorify the outlaw? Because the outlaw offers us something primal. Freedom from the system, revenge against injustice, control in a world of chaos. The outlaw says, it's not just fiction. It's a template, an identity, a way to matter. Let's go deeper, inside the brain. When someone plans a heist, two regions light up. The nucleus accumbens, dopamine, anticipation, reward, and the prefrontal cortex, planning, risk judgment, control. Together, a dangerous cocktail. The brain craves reward. It simulates success. And if emotions override logic, risk becomes addictive. Studies show some habitual criminals feel the highest dopamine spike not when they succeed, but when they plan. It's not just the money, it's the buildup, the adrenaline, the chess game. To some, the bank isn't a building, it's a puzzle. And solving it, that's the high. Many robbers, especially lone ones, aren't chasing riches. They're chasing power. They want to control a system that once controlled them. Prove they can beat the odds, humiliate the powerful, and escape invisibility. Take Albert Spaghetti, the mastermind of the 1976 Société Générale heist. His team tunneled from the sewers, bypassed every alarm, and left a note in the vault. Without hatred, without weapons, without violence. He didn't just want the money, he wanted immortality. To him, it wasn't theft, it was art. And the bank, his canvas. Movies don't just depict heists, they shape them. From the Great Train Robbery, 1903, to the more current Ocean's 11, Heat, Inside Man, Money Heist. Cinema redefines the robbery, not as desperation, but as a performance, a mission, the mind game. It feeds the fantasy, what if I could do it and get away clean? Some real-life robbers even admit they weren't inspired by the technique. They were inspired by the aesthetic. They wanted to be calm, clever, and cool. They weren't just committing a crime, they were playing a role. Here's another paradox, though. Most career criminals, gangs, cartels, mafias, don't rob banks. Why? Too risky, too public, too chaotic. Bank robbers are often outsiders, drifters, ex-employees, unemployed visionaries, runaways, rarely the psychotic. They don't want to join the underworld. They want to leave their mark on the world, even for just a moment. That's the heist mind. Not a careerist, but a performer on a stage they built for themselves. Most robbers fail, but some become legends. In 1950, the Brinks job in Boston, 2.7 million stolen, no fingerprints. Masks, precision, planning. The press called it a crime of the century. Books followed, movies were made, a myth was born. Yes, they were caught, but by then, they were already icons. Because to some, the goal isn't escape, it's remembrance. Even infamy is better than invisibility. When the world ignores you, being the villain is still a form of power. So, what had to exist before bank robbery was possible? Well, not just currency, not just vaults, and not just guards or codes, but a mind capable of looking at it all and saying, what if I could take it? What if I could win? Robbery doesn't begin with a weapon. It begins with a belief, a reason, a story. Because every vault says, stay out. And somewhere, someone will always whisper, try and stop me.